Hello, I'm gonna have a YouTube channel now, so hopefully the Nazis don't come running. Start, uh, sh- pi- uh, when come running and start showing some signs of anger, and because their oil is getting pretty much drained up. But anyways, as you know, the plate tectonics kind of slide around on the Earth mantle. So you have the crust kind of moving about 1 centimeter uh, per year, or as fast as your fingernails grow. So I got my drawing over here because I don't know how to edit videos because for some reason everybody's just making my life computer wise hell. So I'm still gonna have a YouTube channel even though I don't know how to edit stuff. So this is what I think it's happening pretty much. As the oil consumption keeps going, right? Everybody keeps hearing that the oil is gonna run out. It's probably gonna run out, but not in the way you guys think it is. Um, the oil mostly gets deposited underneath, and you have probably the crust is about a mile thick or two in some places. In some places, it's very thin. So when you're having like uh, tectonic plates in the Gulf of Mexico, uh, or like the Gulf of North America, not part of the U.S., uh, you have this thing, this kind of layer of oil. If you don't know your oil, you can look it up on, uh, you can look it up on YouTube. By the way, you can look up everything on YouTube, concerning about stuff, plate tectonics. Look it up. Don't invade anybody's privacy for stuff that you can look up yourself. Uh, but basically, you're drilling into the thin layer of oil, and the thin layer of oil doesn't get compressed because oil behaves like a liquid, but it doesn't get compressed, so it doesn't become a solid, or it doesn't become heated like the crust, like the like this piece right here that it's showing over here. It doesn't get heated when it goes underneath. So when you have underwater plate tectonics, the what it does is, like, the oil, even though it's there, it could collapse. You could have gravity just pushing down. If it's enough weight, pretty much like continental weight, there's not uh, on the ocean floor weight. So you can have the ocean floor right here, and then you have the continental weight is the land, it's above the water. So you could have a what you called a collapse. See, this whole entire thing, if gravity pulled it down more, could collapse. So this seashore right here could actually be going down in in sea level. So you could have like the tides coming in more, and then you have the oil a drilling oil rig. So I'm not gonna, because I'm not editing videos right now. And then you have a shaft drilling down and then taking up the oil, and then here comes the oil space. The oil space actually becomes caverns. So you have gravity, and then you have the pressure of the earth, which is the mantle pushing up this part of the crust right here. So this right here moves, and you can get an earthquake. And if this right here moves, you can get an earthquake. And then worse, you could have like a whole collapse of the whole entire oil right here and pinch. So you could create like a stressed area in the tectonic plates. But in all, if you look at the map, like places like Saudi Arabia and the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of North America, not the Gulf of U.S. Um, you could see like a whole continent sink depending on the thickness of the oil, because I mean you can drill on it, but it doesn't seem like it's ending for some reason, and that is big concerning depending on how much oil you have underneath, because technically oil doesn't compress, so it doesn't become a solid. So if you have oil here, all that is just gonna come down, so it could create a massive continental uh, shift that will go pretty much into the ocean. You're probably just gonna have a shallow sea in places like Florida. They would actually be incredibly cottage traffic, and have like Alabama, Mississippi, all those coastal states right there. Because most of the oil that comes here in North America is in the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of North America, and that is concerning depending on how much uh how big is the bubble oil is on it. So you could get like 1 inch, depending if it's a couple layers, how many feet the cavern of oil is. So you could see like something like about a foot a sea level rise, or like a skyscraper, like, because if the cavern oil is as big as it's a skyscraper, which is more than likely it's not going to be, uh, you could see like a whole side of the continent just collapse one of these days if oil. But since most of it's underwater, that is just gonna make kind of like, don't know, I'm not even particularly sure, but that would just create like a whole continental side of just going down, because you have like 2 or 3 plates coming meeting on the Gulf of North America, so that whole section could just sink in a little bit more and just make a whole collapse of the whole part of the coastal part of the continent. But that's a very unlikely scenario. Uh, what what could actually end up happening is that having no stress, having no lack of support here, because the upper part of the crust is a whole lot thinner um, than the whole crust, and there's no no filling in between the two pieces of crust right here. You could see that the or like a convection between oil and crust right here. See, also oil, when it gets heated, it convects from cold to heat and heat to cold. So having that oil gone, you could actually see a lack of convection that would actually shoot magma, because this side is cooler. This side is more than likely more like um, metamorphic rock. It's getting heated by gravity, and is getting heated by the mantle of the earth. So you could see like a collapse as well, because the pressure of the earth and the inner earth are greater than gravity. So that would just give way to basically just lava from the mantle coming in and just filling the entire cavern, if you don't see like a whole collapse of the continent right here. So that could fill in and make like a new volcano somewhere, which could be very bad because like if you don't read your scripture, um, like the seal 6 of the apocalypse, which I always say, based on the madness that it's happening right now on the whole earth, you could see that you could see a lot of geological effects on the earth. And when it comes to the 6th seal of the apocalypse, that's usually found in the book of Revelation or the Revelation of Jesus Christ. You could actually see the sky darken. Could affect satellite because technically this is a whole lot of molten rock. It could have a lot of more iron particles. Could interfere with satellites. Stars coming down. Let me see here. People hiding underneath rocks because of the volcanoes, and could erupt actually. And let's not talk about other volcanoes like super volcanoes. They could become geologically more active due to the lack of uh, st- stabilized stable rock in the earth crust. So you can see a whole a whole lack of stability, a more distillation of the crust just by having oil rigs. But I mean, in all, it's just gonna be uh, a whole lot of madness in the next couple, probably like in the next couple of thousand years, because this only affects in the long term. See, I could die tomorrow. I could get arrested just by putting this video, and I could pretty much, you know, uh, you know, died, and then 100 years later, the Earth is suddenly becoming more geologically active. And you know what happened? It actually happened to one of them. Actually, that actually happened in the Cretaceous period. One of them in the in a mass extinction event. I think that was the mass extinction event that broke the continent. So you could see a lot more continents breaking and falling to the sea in continental breakup of drifts. Mostly it would be in North America. You could see the North American seaway coming back if you guys don't know your geological history of the Cretaceous and how North America and South America became one. You could see the whole Central America, the whole isthmus of Central America being actually just collapsed because there's a bunch of volcanoes there. So you can see, and that's all like volcanic rock, and that could even one crack in the in the isthmus of North America and Central and South America, and could create a seaway as well. So that could just go down depending on how geological, because that is just gonna break up. That is just gonna break this chunk right here from this part, depending on where you're at. So, in an actual scale of the Earth, this could be a whole entire part. This actually could become a whole new part of a different continent because it broke off from the main plate, and since this is not up to scale, if it was up to scale, this whole thing was sunk into the center of the Earth. So there's some alarming things that are going to happen that I'm just going to point out to those biblical dudes that don't read the Bible. It's like the devil is coming. Yeah, it could possibly be is not coming right now. It's just coming human greed, human. The evil is just human greed and human interactions with Mother Earth. So ideology, people are just forcing other people to not be free. So and because nobody wants to switch to alternative source of energy, you could actually see this possible future. Like for me, it would be pretty much simple because I oxygen is kind of, it becomes actually electrically negatively charged, so you could actually run some batteries or small small pretty much all electronics are becoming really tiny. That requires a lot less power. So you could actually just use oxygen as a power source, because oxygen becomes negatively charged when it doesn't have valence electrons in the atmosphere. So it attracts electrons, then it becomes negative charge, goes from positive to negative, and you just can either put an antenna. Actually, there's a lot of actually one study was done. Somebody put like a cable and put an antenna in the stratosphere of the Earth, actually of the sky, and created a power grid. Don't know how much power, but you could probably run it into a capacitor and get 12 volts. So I don't know, I'm gonna keep talking about this. Hopefully my YouTube channel doesn't take off, because I don't want nosy people hacking my phone. And if you happen to know who am I don't like you. I'm not gonna be trying to be Mr. Nice Guys about you, because I don't I usually get pretty people unfriendly, which I'm trying to be more friendly, but I'm not. And basically how the Trump administration is going, this is probably your near future of America as well, because I live here. So it's not really pick smarter leaders, don't pick hateful leaders. Pick smarter enforcers of the law, don't pick big-headed enforcers of the law. Don't pick subjugators of the enforcers of the law, because that's pretty much it's gonna happen. So peace out, take care. And it's almost 20 minutes. Wow. So hopefully you guys can understand me. I'm trying to put this in more friendlier terms. Maybe if I write down something more scripted, I could crunch it into 10 minutes to 5-minute videos, since I'm not doing a lot of illustrations on this, because I don't know how to edit videos. I wish I could, but if you guys could point me into a platform that would edit videos that I could look up, thank you, to get more better quality videos. So basically I'm just gonna leave out that be aware, this probably is gonna come in soon, because all of this is just tied down to the basics of what I would like to call the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And then I can go into that probably into my next video. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Who are they? Who are they coming for? Because they're all, if you know the four horsemen of the apocalypse, it ties to Enoch and the Nephilim, which are one of the stories I like in the Bible. But you know, 4 archangels, they came to, oh shit, running out of power too.